Please record. Okay, so can it hear me? It can. Alright. This is my sexy voice.
That's really not sexy. It sounds like a child's voice.
Oh, really? That's creepy. I hate it when people try to do sexy child.
This is my sexy voice. I think it sounds very sexy.
See, and that's doing it for me.
I know it. Join us on a stroll through the strange, frightening, but always intriguing world of the unexplained. Join us as we tiptoe through the darkness with your hosts, Lizzie, and I'm Bethany. Welcome back. Okay, so the end of the last episode, I said we were going to talk about black-eyed kids.
Yes! Okay, we're going to do that.
I love me some black-eyed kids. Now, not particularly. I mean, I don't love them. I like the stories. God forbid I ever see one.
You're going to hear a little tap, tap, tap outside and be like,
no.
We heard you loved us.
Yeah, that's not happening. I will slam the doors so fast. I will start screaming, don't look me in the eyes.
Question though, now that everyone has those Ring cameras on their door, what's going to happen with the black-eyed kids? Are they going to disappear?
Not everybody has those Ring things, though. Think about it.
Almost everyone does.
You're just going to get stories from people who don't have the Ring. And you can't really tell if someone's got black eyes on there unless they're, like, right up close. If you just see the outline of the kids.
It's pretty clear what you can see on
you
there.
can record the whole interaction with them.
Yes, exactly.
And then you have proof. So, I mean, there's that. Yeah. Okay, so, the black-eyed kids. Now, the majority of people out there have heard of black-eyed kids in one way or another. But, in a nutshell, most people say it's an urban legend. It was a creepypasta. Wrong and wrong, but right and right at the same time. Okay. Black-eyed kids were first, well, most people agree.
You're already backtracking? You just started.
Well, most people agree that this was, that there was a reporter. So most people are in agreement that there's a blogger, and his name was Brian Bethel. And he claims to have had the first encounter with black-eyed kids, or at least posted it on the internet. His encounter was in 1996, Abilene, Texas. Anyway, he was in his car in front of a movie theater writing a check for something. And he got a tap on the window, and he looks up, and there's these two children, little boys. And they approach the car, and they ask, he rolls the window down a touch, just a little, and he says, can I help you? And they ask, you know what, we need some money to go see the movie, which at that time was playing Mortal Kombat, which, who doesn't want to see Mortal Kombat in the movie theater? He has a strange encounter with these kids. They become very aggressive with their language. They threaten him. They want in his car. He eventually doesn't, he gets the courage. He said that he was almost like in a trance-like state, and he couldn't move, but he finally gets a hold of himself, starts the car, drives off. Okay? So that is really the first black-eyed kid. But then, once the door was open, black-eyed kid phenomena is flooded in. So we have stories all around the world, not just America, but they are very popular in America. So that in a nutshell is what we're working off of.
Are you going to mention David Weatherly?
I'll toss it over to you. What have you got to add to this?
Well, David Weatherly, most stories that people have are from him because he was an author who wrote a book on it. He did a lot of research. He found a lot of stories on it.
Yeah, I've heard his interviews before.
Yeah.
He's extremely knowledgeable.
So, a lot of the stories I've heard were from him.
So, if anyone out there is interested in learning more of the black-eyed kids, please pick up his book. It's really worth a read.
Or any of the black-eyed kid websites, because they all quote from him.
But really, if you want to get to the source, tap into his books. You'll get the whole experience. And he doesn't just cover, like, where these kids come to your door. He also covers other things of where they've come inside. People have been driving and seen them. So, it's really worth a read. Okay, go ahead.
That's all you got? This is your research hours?
You have stories. I thought you were gonna talk to stories.
Okay, yeah, I have stories I was going to go into. Okay.
Cut that! Edit!
Oh my god.
Now you have more for you to edit. Because you don't stop it.
I'm the one who edits, so why are you screaming in the microphone? You bitch. Okay. Alright, so... Yes, I got some stories that were David Weatherly, mostly.
Alright.
But, and my favorite ones are the historical ones. The ones that go farther back than the Brian Bethel story.
Oh, okay, do tell.
So those are my favorite.
Okay, let's hear it.
And then... So one of the first accounts that I find really interesting was these two guys traveling through France.
What's the year?
1974.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to just read this. Okay? One of the most stunning accounts... Oh, this is from the jimherald.com website. But it's basically David Weatherly's story. Okay, one of the more stunning accounts Weatherly came across dated all the way back to 1974 in the Picardy region of Ain, France?
Ains? Why are you looking at me? I've not been to France.
I'm not Frenchy, I don't know.
I know not!
Alright, so it's a region in France.
I know oui.
Okay.
Pardon. French fries.
Okay, God. I should probably edit all that up.
Edit!
According to an early witness report from the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena, two men known only as Elaine and Patrick were making a leisurely drive through a small village, enjoying the autumn weather. It was around 3 p.m. when they decided to turn around and take a different route. Upon turning, Patrick noticed something near the last house in the village that made him hit the brakes. There in the courtyard of the house were 5 small figures. 3 of them stood on the background, huddled together. Another was tracing its hands along the home. The last figure stood facing Patrick and Elaine. Elaine rolled down his passenger side window to get a better look. He reports that his blood ran cold when faced with the being. Weatherly would tell me the appearance of the 5 characters were as strange as their behavior. They were all just over 4 feet tall.
Taller than you.
That's my height. They were dressed alike with long garments that almost reached the ground. These garments were decorated with multicolored spots. The beings...
Wait, were the spots, by any chance, yellow and black, and maybe some were purple and black, and maybe one was green and silver and black?
It's not in the story, Beth.
Okay.
Why?
I was just saying, that sounds like Hogwarts colors.
What if they were crying out loud?
You're a wizard, Harry. Okay.
You are aware that's not real, right? Okay. The beings
you say doesn't make it true.
The beings themselves had earthy, yellow skin and long hair that fell down their backs to their waists.
So they looked like they had jaundice?
That's pretty much describing me. Their noses were compressed inwards.
Yep, that sounds like you.
And their eyes are described as enormous, solid black hemispheres with the size of billiard balls.
Don't they sound like little mini, Voldemorts?
My nose is not pressed in.
That's what you're focused on?
I have a cute nose.
You also have really short hair, so...
Oh, yeah, now.
Okay, so... They were just... Oh, wait a minute. They had their hands pressed against the house?
Yes.
I don't understand that. So, were they just...
Oh, yeah, they had... The others were facing the walls and had their hands... Like a policeman was frisking them. Except for one, who was staring directly at them.
And they were all children, at least child size.
Child size. It didn't say that they were children.
Why didn't they pull over and, say, what are you doing?
Because they were freaky little people that were holding up houses.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Was there anybody else in the village?
No, they said it was only those 5.
Okay, so they're driving through a supposedly abandoned village.
This is why, when I hear Black-Eyed Kids, I don't think demons, I think aliens. You know people who get abducted and then they come back and they have weird stories?
Yeah.
Like, that is clearly didn't happen, like, the owl is talking to them? Could this be an older abduction hallucination?
Okay, so I've heard of a group of 3. But I don't remember, I don't recall. So, I mean, I might have heard a story or two, but I don't recall hearing a story of that many.
Well, no, yeah, this is
together.
different from for a lot of reasons. First of all, they're the only ones in town. They don't talk to them. And they're all dressed in the. Usually, black-eyed kids are dressed in older clothes.
Okay,
but these are just dressed in.
I know I made the Hogwarts joke, but there's actually, the cloaks that they were in. Just follow me with this line of questioning.
Oh, right.
Just follow it. You know the cloaks that they wear in those movies for Hogwarts?
Mm-hmm.
That is an actual school uniform for Portugal. Children wear those to school.
Okay.
So, following that logic,
so you
what
think
if they were just some kids?
Portugal school students
No,
ran away to France?
What if?
And took over a little village?
What if?
I believe it.
What if they were just dressed in something like for a school uniform, and they were just little kids out there, and the sun was in their eyes, and you couldn't really see the color of their eye, so they just thought it was black. I mean, if they're going in a car, this is 77, you said? 74. They're in a car. So the car is going at a certain speed.
I think it said that they stopped, didn't it?
They pulled to a stop to stare at these kids. So wait a minute. They pulled over to look at the demon children. The demon children didn't move, didn't come after them, didn't put a finger up to their mouth and say, shh, 7 days, or anything. That doesn't seem logical to me. I mean, they should have done something. I think they were drunk.
I mean, it's possible it is France. They were.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, do you have another story?
Yes, I do.
All right. So, let's first give the judgment on that one. I'm not sure I'm buying it. I believe in all sorts of things.
It doesn't stick to the original Black-Eyed Kids story.
It doesn't. And there's no threat. I'm not saying they didn't see something creepy. We all have heard tales of little villages in Europe. People are driving through these little villages and this creepy stuff happens. It happens in America. You're driving through these little bitty towns and, they all look like they have the same last name. You see creepy stuff.
Well, there's more to the story.
Okay, all right.
Just a little bit. Okay, so, back to it. They have eyes the size of billiard balls. Soon, the being closest to the car began to wave to Patrick and Elaine, gesturing to them to come closer. The motion of the being scared Elaine so much that he screamed in terror for Patrick to drive away. Patrick hit the gas pedal, and they sped out of the area to a nearby town. They told several locals of what they had witnessed. They returned hours later to find no sign of the small beings anywhere. 8 months later, an investigator finally made it to the scene and spoke with nearby residents. Weatherly recounted. Interestingly, he found a neighbor who had noticed the beings on the road in front of the home. He reported that he thought the beings he saw were children dressed in yellow oilcloth.
What?
Yeah, dressed in yellow oilcloth.
That's weird. So they keep their clothes clean? Like they're going to paint or
No, it's oilcloth. It's like a cheap old cloth.
Yeah, I know. Like they were going to paint. They wanted to keep the stuff off their clothes. Or they were going to butcher something. That's weird.
Mm.
Okay, so is that the end of that one?
That's the end of that one.
Okay. What about the person who lives in the house? Did they talk to them?
Yeah, it could just as easily been somebody who had a bunch of kids and they dressed them all in cheap clothes. Maybe they were
deformed. Maybe.
And you know what? They could have had just dark eyes.
Or maybe they were those glasses.
Or they could be aliens.
No, what if they were glasses? What if they were blind children and they were wearing those glasses? You know, the ones where they have big lenses and little...
is so drunk that they don't see glasses, they see instead giant eyes.
Did you just actually say that? Because I watched a video on YouTube where a girl was so drunk, she got into the tub in her clothes and said she was in the washing machine washing her clothes. Okay? So don't tell me that someone could see someone with glasses and think they have no eyeballs. Just saying. It's a possibility.
Did you see the one about that girl who was at a party and she ended up in the freezer in the hotel?
That's a real life criminal. She wasn't drunk either. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think she was drunk. I think
I believe that they molested her of some sort. They raped her or did something to her, and then when they killed her, they stuck her in the freezer to die. Or they thought they killed her, stuck her in the freezer, and she died in the freezer because of it.
Well, after that, they have video of her walking through the halls. Disoriented and alone.
I know that. That's a true crime case.
Yeah. That's a great one.
So, okay, that one I'm going to put on the, I don't know if I believe it.
Okay, so this one is actually my favorite.
Okay.
It's from 1950s.
Ooh, that's good. I've heard a lot from 1950s, and every single one I've heard from the 50s is creepy, so.
When a young man named Harold encounters a boy with black eyes. Harold was 16 years old when it happened. He was making a long walk home from a friend's house. As he made way down the dirt road leading to the entrance, he noticed a small figure leaning against the fence in front of the house. As he approached, he noticed that it was a boy. Being a small town, everyone knew everyone. Harold was puzzled. Having never seen this child before, he immediately started talking to the boy, but received no response. He asked if the boy was all right, and after a moment, the boy finally replied, "I want to go to your house. Take me to your house." A chill rushed through Harold. He didn't know how to respond. It was in that moment that the boy looked up at him, a pair of solid black eyes staring at Harold with a desperate assertiveness. Harold felt glued to the ground, terrified. He looked up the road, planning to run when the boy immediately shot back, "Now don't you run away from me! You're going to walk me to your house!" Harold was now feeling threatened. He made a run for it, sprinting up the road, too scared to look back. All he heard was a screeching wail, like that of a bobcat.
Hold up. How old do you think the boy was? Harold's 16.
And he's talking to this boy.
So he's probably about like 8, 9, 10.
I would say around 9 or 10 or something.
9, 10. Okay, so he could easily outrun him. Okay,
I'm assuming. It doesn't really give that detail.
Okay, go ahead.
Was it the child? Was this a wail of anger for not listening to his threatening words? He wasn't about to stick around to find out. The front door of the home flung open as Harold barreled through the entrance. Startled, his parents asked him what was wrong. Struggling to speak, he finally explained that he had seen to his protective father. Soon the father grabbed a shotgun. That's a good dad.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's go shoot the child with the weird eyes.
Damn straight.
Scared his son.
And headed down the road, desperately searching for this boy. There was absolutely no sign of him anywhere. The family was left wondering just exactly what it was that Harold had experienced that night. His mother, fearing that it had literally been the devil in disguise, brought Harold to a local clergy and had him blessed. And with that, the encounter with the screaming boy at the fence came and went with more questions than answers.
Okay.
Again, this is all from the jimharold.com Black Eyed stories, and they're all David Weatherly stories.
Okay, so here's that one I liked better. It was creepy.
I've heard this one before, too.
I thought it was the one where... But usually when you hear of black-eyed kids, they come to the door.
Right.
It's a one-on-one...
But not necessarily. There are stories of them meeting them out. If you look at the black-eyed girl in Canuck Chase,
yeah,
which I'm definitely sure is more ghost, she always meets them out walking.
Then it becomes more of a Resurrection Mary story than a...
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Well, yeah.
I like...
But otherwise, it fits in the Black Eyed Kids stories exactly.
That fits. I like that story a lot better. It's more of them asking for what they always do. That they want to come in. They want to be around. They want to be in your personal space as close as possible.
So, I mean, I want to say that they're more alien, but aliens have abducted people from their homes all the time. Why would they need to ask permission this time?
Did you ever see that movie?
Probably not.
I think it's Slither. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever see Slither? Okay. Do you remember when he was transferring the aliens into the lady? Remember the tube that comes out and goes into her belly?
Like a proboscis thing?
Yeah. What if that's sort of a way... No, just hear me out. That the Black-Eyed Kids have to feed something similar to that way. That's why they want it in your home, so it's private. The
people who've let them in, what I've read... And I'm by no means an expert, I'm just saying. The effects they felt were radiation-like.
Yeah, like they were being fed upon by something... Okay, I know you're going
like
for aliens.
Poisoned.
That's... Yeah, well, yeah. But all the stories I I've read where people have let black-eyed kids into their home. They felt like they were being fed upon, and they were getting weaker and more traumatized, or just weaker and sicker of something. Yes, and usually it is with radiation.
It's
some kind of form of cancer. Style. Yeah, but what if the black-eyed kids feed off of us, but it's a process that they need privacy to do it?
So are you thinking that they're actually a physical creature, like a cryptid? Or are they a demon?
I think it's a cryptid. I don't think it's
an alien.
We could say that they're evil, but...
So, actually, I have something before this, because I found this on the site where they were mentioning the hierarchy of demons, and I just want to clarify, I whenever someone says that there's a hierarchy in hell, and different rankings of demons, I immediately want to call bullshit, because they just don't seem like the kind of people that would want to stick to a hierarchy. They were like more commune.
I believe that.
Okay, so they had the white-eyed demons, or the demon chiefs of staff, the yellow-eyed demons, army generals, red-eyed demons, the demon deal makers, and black-eyed demons, the soldiers, thugs, henchmen. This is like Supernatural. You've watched that show, Supernatural?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Exactly like that.
I don't know if I follow that one.
So, and like I said, I don't believe in hierarchy in hell.
I don't know if there is.
I think everyone does their thing, and then they get bullied by those who's stronger. That's the closest thing you'll get to a hierarchy.
I don't know if there is or not. I really would hate to put human thought, emotion, human hierarchy is a human sort of thing.
I mean, if you go biblical with it, isn't that the whole reason they fell? Is because they were tired of the hierarchy shit?
I guess you could say that.
They didn't want anyone above them?
They didn't want humans above them.
Oh, that's one.
Okay, you can understand them a little bit if you think about it. Do you really? I mean,
yeah, because they act like everybody's kids, everybody else's kids.
Yeah, they do actually.
Little brats who are screaming at Dad, "I want this! I hate you! You're not my mother!"
Wow, your kid needs to be spanked. Let me just tell you. Okay, so I think they're more of a cryptid. I think that they exist. I listened to this really great, I guess it was a creepypasta. They were supposedly telling the truth, but I think it's a creepypasta. And I'm sure anyone listening out there, if you dig into it, it's probably going to turn out to be a creepypasta. But in this creepypasta, I'm going to say it's a creepypasta. That was supposed to be a true story. Anyway, there was an alien that the government captured. The government put them in like an Area 51 area. And then they started bringing in all these creepy cryptids that they've been capturing and asking the alien that they captured if these were aliens. And the government had this alien for like 40 years. And he's relaying this story. And he says there are far more things out there that are frightening than aliens, like from outer space. That there was creepy creatures here on this planet. You know, maybe they're multidimensional, whatever, but they existed. I have a tendency, and though that's just a story, it does play into, I think that they're a cryptid. They're something that exists here. Maybe they're multidimensional. Maybe not, but I think they actually exist here.
Well, I've always been more towards the thing that aliens and fairies and nature spirits of any kind were all the same kind of creature.
Could be.
And they can take any form they want. And I think that's what the black-eyed kids are. Nature spirits.
But why would they take on something that would make you want to slam the door on their face?
They get bored. They don't have Nintendo.
But why would they take on something that creepy? Because they don't know any better? It kind of, after a while...
Because they act like other people's kids.
Yeah, but after a while, if that's not working for you, it has to be working because they keep on doing it.
Honestly, that is the best way to get into someone's home, isn't it? Appearing like a child.
Supposedly they say that what demons will do, pretend they're a child.
Yeah, so it is very demon-like.
Well, yeah, but it's also predatory. Pretend like you're something else so you can... What's that fish that has the little light in front of it? Mm-hmm. So the other fish come up to the light and then it tries to eat them? Was it anglerfish? It's the same sort of thing. Yes. You pretend to be something And then, or those little, grasshoppers or some kind of a beetle, some insect where it's got two heads, but one head's on its butt. So then if anything bites the butt, it just gets poisoned.
Is this from Harry Potter?
No, this is a real creature. No, it's a real creature. Harry Potter. God.
It's got a head on its butt.
No, it's like in camo. It's not a real head.
Oh my god, I've been told that before.
No. So, I'm just saying that
that's a weird thing. It's not even
maybe why would they keep doing this? It doesn't work very well for them, and now people are becoming more informed.
And now we have those stupid Ring cameras on all the doors.
Okay, so someone knocks at the door, you go down to answer it. Yeah, we would look at the Ring thing first and say, "Can I help you?" But
yeah, I'd be talking to him through my phone.
But if for some reason if they're supernatural, maybe that doesn't work. Maybe it fuzzes out. There's lots of times I've used the Ring app, and it's frozen, or I couldn't get it to work or load. So you go down there to the front door, and you open the front door and say, "Yeah, can I help you?" And then they look you right in the eye. Now, I would be like, "Not today, Satan," and slam the door.
If I look on the Ring camera and I just see like two fuzzy images where people should be, I'm still not opening that door.
I know for a fact that if something is dangerous and I need to save something I care about, I can do it. I've done it before, so I know that, I can close the door on it. At least I hope so. Maybe you think you're strong enough, but you can't.
I wonder how many children totally ignored who are because someone's afraid that they're black-eyed kids.
Well, I think it's more so now. You see a group of kids, you're scared of them anyway. Nobody likes a group of kids together.
God,
they're all hooligans.
Especially if they have accents.
No. See? What is that, xenophobic?
Join us.
People are xenophobic, so if you get a group of kids, and if you can't see their faces clearly, you're going to think they're up to no good.
Honestly, if I see a bunch of kids and they're dressed in any old style, I'm not stopping for them at all.
Look at how people are responding to that little girl protester, Greta, I think her name is, from Sweden.
Oh God, let's not go political.
No, I'm looking. Look,
okay.
People have a visceral anger towards her, a lot of adults, because she's a child, and they think that she's telling them
I'm going to be more specific, because she reminds me of every teenage girl I have ever known, including myself at that point.
Yeah, but adults are afraid of children, because they're creepy as fuck, and we all know it.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, if the black-eyed kids would grow up and become black-eyed, half-naked women, they would be eating constantly. Because a naked guy shows up at a woman's door, she's not going to open the door right away. A naked woman that's hot shows up at a guy's door, 9 times out of 10, he's opening that door.
Well, if a naked woman shows up at anybody's door, the first thought is, oh, maybe she was attacked. And then you want to help.
No. Because I've seen some of those ring videos where a half-naked woman runs up to the door screaming, "Help, help, help," and nobody opens that door. That's because there's a woman that lives there. She's like, "Hold up. Don't open that door." Now, I'm not being sexist against men.
Where did you see these videos?
Go online. You can see
these videos.
I'll show you. I got websites.
They're not as fun as my websites, I bet.
No, probably not. But, anyway, I'm just saying that I believe that black-eyed kids exist. I think they're a real thing. I don't know what they are. I'm not sure I really believe the France one. But
I know, but it's a fun story.
It's a fun story because it's creepy.
I mean, there are some things where I'm like, I want to believe in it because it's funner to believe in it.
Yeah, but it's kind of like those mysterious, when people are driving.
If I ever go into France, I'm going to try to drive to as many strange, small villages as possible to see if I can stop and find them.
There's this guy on YouTube.
Nope, they're normal people. Damn it.
I think he's British, and he has a van, and he travels around Europe in the van, and it's a travel channel.
Yeah.
So you see all these places he travels. Have you seen this one?
Mm-hmm.
And he stops in France, and he's in the woods because his little mini fridge breaks down. He's explaining how you have to fix it, and then he had a creepy encounter with a girl in the woods. So I'm saying France is pretty creepy. And one day, France, we may come over and I won't explore your creepiness because I don't want to see these things in real life. I
want to get all into your creepiness.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
So, now we have the next part.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of white-eyed children?
No, actually, I have not.
Have you ever heard of red-eyed children?
No.
No. White-eyed children are like black-eyed kids, but they're always a little bit older.
Like teenagers?
They can be up to 18 years old.
Ugh.
And they don't... most stores that I've heard of them, they haven't gone below 11.
Okay.
So they're basically in their teens or tweens.
Okay.
They're basically like the black-eyed kids, but they do confront people outside.
Is there always a group of them?
Like the 1950s. Not necessarily.
Okay.
In fact, it usually tends to be one or two.
All right.
There are accounts that they'll leave handprints.
So these are the violent ones.
They do tend to try to get in a little bit more.
Ooh.
They're not as violent as the red-eyed kids. Red-eyed kids, I don't know if I believe as much.
Okay. Go to the red-eyed kids. What are the red-eyed kids?
They're the more violent ones. They're the ones that are trying to break your windows, and they pounding on your doors, and they're the ones that'll get very angry very fast.
Did you ever see 28 Days Later? Wasn't it the rage virus that hit them?
Yeah.
Okay, and they turned their eyes red?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm thinking about the rage virus.
See, I haven't found any really good stories on the red-eyed kids.
I've never heard of the white eyes or the red-eyed kids. I've only heard of black-eyed.
White eyes, I've actually heard stories where they show up in your house.
No.
They can show up in your house, and usually it's like an adult, and they'll just stand there, and you'll just get sicker and sicker and sicker. Then suddenly they'll disappear.
Ew.
Sometimes they say things to you, but most of the time they're like, I'm here, you can't do anything about it, sort of thing.
Well, that's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Well, I think that's a little bit more on the supernatural side then.
Yeah.
Not really cryptids.
Now, there is actually some stories where they see white-eyed people out and about, and they're just stalking them. Like you're just walking by a crowd of adults talking, and one of them turns to you, and their eyes are white.
Ew.
Or then you're walking to the store, and there's just someone standing across the street staring at you, and it's a white-eyed kid.
That's creepy.
It's almost like they possess normal people.
Oh, it's kind of like, remember that Denzel Washington movie where you just touch and the demon would...
Yeah.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah. So, in a way, white-eyed kids are creepier than black-eyed kids. There's like that's where they're more evolved.
Well, if that's one lesson that we leave you with today, don't have children and do not be around children because they're creepy.
Children are dangerous.
And they're trying to eat your souls. I know I feel on a daily basis my children have eaten a little bit more of me every day.
Well, I think with the white-eyed kids is that they seem more ghost-like. More demonic.
Yeah, the red-eyed kids. The black-eyed kids seem like they need something from you to exist.
Red-eyed kids seems more like someone heard this black-eyed kid story and then they were like, I can do better.
Yeah. I don't know if I believe the red-eyed ones, but the black-eyed, yes. I think they exist. Black-eyed, I'm putting the black-eyed in cryptids because I don't think there is a supernatural as some kind of a creature out there. I think that if we knew what they exactly were, we would, create a spray to keep them away.
Yes.
But, that's creepy. Okay.
So this was a good suggestion on your part.
It was.
Kids, they're interesting.
So, again, if anyone is interested in learning more about the black-eyed kids, white-eyed kids, or red-eyed kids, then they would, which website should they go to and what books should they look up?
The internet. And there's millions of things on there. White-eyed kids take a little bit harder research.
What about, but you said, was David Weatherly?
David Weatherly is the main author of them. I didn't see any articles of his for the white-eyed kids.
Oh, so he hasn't covered that yet, or maybe?
Not that I've seen. These were just popped up in... I went to the site of The Edge of Reality, proboard.com, and found it there. They're a little harder to find. You can find some YouTube videos on it, obviously. Red-eyed kids, like I said, I couldn't find any actual stories. Just people who want to talk about what the red-eyed kids are, but not necessarily actual stories.
Not that we're poo-pooing anyone's experiences, because maybe this is...
Yeah, we're not experts, obviously. We're just...
Is there an expert? I think if there was an experts in these fields, we're about as close as you can get to it.
Amateur observers, at best.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
As long as an armchair was put into it, I'm good with that. All right, well, that was That was you got a good couple of stories there. All right, so next week. What are we doing next week?
Oh, that's my pick. My pick is going to be Canuck Chase in the UK.
Okay, what is it now?
Canuck Chase.
In the UK.
In the UK. This is like...
Bridgewater Triangle?
No, it's more like Skinwalker Ranch.
Ooh, okay. We're going to have to do a whole show on
that
one.
Honestly, I would say the Skinwalker Ranch is like Canuck Chase.
Oh, yeah, because it's been around
longer.
Yeah, okay. All right, wonderful. All right, well, thank you for joining us, and it has been a lively discussion with me, one of your hosts, Bethany, and
me, Izzy.
And we hope that you tune in next week for Canuck Chase in the UK. See you soon.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Why? It's kind of cool. It's almost Halloween. Do it.
Oh, I love Halloween. We're already started decorating. I want to go
do the wahaha.
I want to do the Stephen King Full House decoration. I want to do a little Cujo doghouse in the front and 237 on my door.